This is Talk Radio, the 1998 KPMG commercial radio station of the year.
I just recently split on my girlfriend because she was like two-timing behind my back, and the person she was two-timing with happens to be one of my best mates who I grew up with the whole of my life.
Are you crying?
Sort of.
Oh, can we send him something in the post? There's nothing we can send you that could possibly make up for what you've been through, but
we could send you 2 tickets to the movies, perhaps.
You are fired, Kev.
Menno, you talking to me?
We went to the cinema, like to see that new Armageddon, whatever that new...
Armageddon. You have to get the emphasis right.
Russ, get Nick some chocolate.
Yeah, don't go to the newsagents because you'll get that crappy cheap chocolate.
Yeah, who is it who makes that crappy cheap chocolate?
Oh, there's a couple of names.
No.
Grandmaster Flash was banned by the BBC for that record, White Line.
Perhaps the BBC thought that they were encouraging poor driving. Alien spaceships, they'll just land like that. I've seen it in the movies.
Or they could beam down.
That's right, they could beam down, you useless great gong. Nick Abbott. That seemed unnecessarily harsh of me. Did you edit that?
No.
I called you a useless great gonk just for saying they could beam down. I must have been in a bad mood. Ooh.
I think you're in an unusually good mood last night.
Really? Well, next time I'm in a bad mood...
Remind me to whoop your ass good next time I see you.
That's still legal, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. So the Queen was in the news a lot today.
Pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay.
Not that kind of Queen. The Queen. She signed a football and all the papers were, not all of the papers, many of the papers were going, oh gosh, look at this, what fun, the Queen signs a football, and some were going, now she's gone too far. She's, too much a part of the people now. Did you see that picture of her sitting on the tube in wherever it is she is now? Where is she? Where is she? Oh, Kuala Lumpur, that's right, of course she's in Kuala Lumpur for the athletes, innit?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. The games where nobody took any drugs.
No, they wouldn't.
No, of course not.
Lots of chocolate, though, I understand.
And huge amounts of condoms.
Hey?
They were apparently given every competitor was given 3 condoms each per night. Didn't you read that?
No.
3 each a night.
But I thought
per night.
I thought you were supposed to abstain because it can affect your athletic performance on the field.
Yeah.
As opposed to
in
affecting
bed.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought too, but some say you do and some say you don't. Apparently it takes aggression away. So probably the synchronized swimmers will be doing it, as though their lives depended on it, because it's not an aggressive sport. Smiley. That's probably why they're smiling so much. They've used up their allowance. And be knocking on the doors of the people in the next door in the hotel to ask for some of theirs.
Oh, that'll be it.
Yeah, that's why they have that constant smile on their face.
Of course.
Really pleased to be alive.
Yeah.
Hooray, they're thinking. Every fibre of their body is going zing. So that's how you can maintain a smile while, drinking fluoride water. Because you've got through your allowance. In no uncertain terms. And who else would be helping them do it? Figure skaters, probably, but there weren't any in those games. Do we have winter Commonwealth Games? I suppose not, because none of the Commonwealth is under snow.
It's Winter Olympics, though, aren't they?
I'm aware of that.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry. Of course.
But there's Olympics and there's Winter Olympics. There's no Winter Commonwealth Games, though, is there?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well,
I don't care. I didn't even know the current games were on.
No, she's in the news because this head of the Bundesbank, or whatever it is. It says in the Daily Mail, the imperious disdain of the central bankers in Frankfurt for national sensitivities. Who gives a rat's ear whether the Queen is on the money or not? We're just interested in the money. Who sits there thinking, oh, gosh, the Queen looks great. She looks so much younger on the notes than she does in real life. You ever wonder about that? She looks at least 50 years younger on the money than she does in real life.
Well, I think...
I mean, when the Queen dies, what are we going to have? Charlie's face on there?
Oh, no, because...
Of course, that'll suit a lot of the bankers in the city. They'll be taking Charlie with notes with Charlie's head on it.
Well,
it'll fit right in.
But then, of course, she's not going to be on the euro anyway, is she?
No, of course, and why would we care? I mean, for a start, the whole point of the euro, as far as I know, is to make it easy to buy things from other countries, right? You take your money from this country and you go to France and you buy your cheap wine and whatever it is, and they don't want you giving them... It's like when you go from Scotland to England and you take Scottish money. How aggravating is that? The cashiers peer at it.
What's this?
Don't they? Every time. The Clydesdale and the Royal Bank of Scotland, and what's the other ones?
Bank of Scotland.
Is the Bank of Scotland different from the Royal Bank of Scotland?
It is, yeah.
Right. Because one is royal.
And the other one...
Isn't.
Isn't, yeah.
And every time you just can't spend it because you go, And that'll be the same in France. If our money has got the Queen's head in it, they'll go, what's this? We're not taking that. Except they won't say it like that. They'll say it in French. And we'll go, oh?
Don't speak French.
So of course it shouldn't have, things to associate it to an individual country, because that's the whole point of it, that you can spend it anywhere in Europe. It should all look the same, damn it. I mean, if you're gonna, what's the point of even, having it if it's all going to be different? I thought that was the whole point, that it all looked the same everywhere. You're not contributing too much to this, Kev.
I'm just thinking about what you're saying. I think you're right.
And so all these ridiculous... And a lot of Fleet Street, as was, in my mind, the caricature is of a failing, irascible old man bent over at the waist, flailing at the modern world with a stick in that impotent way, like that.
Like a couple of Harry Enfield characters or something.
Yeah. Just kind of like, railing at youth and then waiting by the side of the road for one of them to lead him across the road. A pathetic, impotent old man. And this is really exactly what most of them were like this in the Mail. Should we surrender sterling for the euro, the image of Britain's monarch will be forever banished from our banknotes. So what? Who cares? Not even the Queen cares. She has to, every now and again, every sort of 50 years or so, she has to sit for another portrait.
Every 50 years?
Yeah.
Almost exactly.
And she has to sit there and, and clench and breathe in, because she knows that for the next 10 years or whatever it is, that picture, whatever it is, however she looks, is going to be stuck, not even a full-on face, it's silhouette.
Kind of like a passport photo everyone can see all the time.
Yeah, exactly, yes. You know what nightmare it is for passport photos. In fact, I'm going to get you, Kev, a pet passport.
Oh, good.
I'm going to inject a microchip in you, and,
Whereabouts?
Well, I can't say my first thought.
Okay.
But I'll need a very big plunger.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what a nightmare you have for going through, to get a picture for your passport. So I had this just now. Because I get pictures taken by, wherever I work for the photos that they send out. And so I thought that'd be great, because I was, I had the hair stylist and the makeup woman and a professional photographer and all that sort of thing, because I looked like just an absolute comic or geek in the last passport that I had, where it was taken when I was... I want to say 27, but that couldn't possibly be right.
Could be a 10-year passport?
No, don't they have longer passports than that? I'm sure they do. 15 or 20 years? I'm sure it was 17.
Mine's a 10-year.
I look absolutely ludicrous. And so I didn't want to live with a passport for another 10 years looking, just like a joke. I thought I'll have a professional photo in there. And the people from the passport agency sent it back and said it's like 2 millimeters too small. I was like, what difference does that make? Ridiculous. And so I had to sit myself in one of those photo booth things. And he always come out looking like a spotty criminal, like some kind of mass murdering geek.
Sick Boy's just given me a leisure card with a passport photo of him on it, and you'd always say about looking like a mass murderer. Well, take that into next we can have a look. It's entirely visual. It won't work on radio at all. But
well, the thing with Sick Boy is that on the surface he is quite like a nice fella.
They actually cut the crime reference number off the bottom of it.
God,
when they put it on there.
That is actually very scary. I'm sure I've seen you on Crime Watch. And you see pictures like this on the news, and this person is a mass murderer, and you think, well, of course they are. Just look at the guy. People who look like this should automatically be locked up, you think.
I've often wondered about Sick Boy, actually.
No, but are you familiar with this? Like, you'll see it in the papers, a picture of a guy, and you took one look at him, and you think, good grief, this person was allowed to walk around the street? Obviously he's a mass murderer. Speaking as a psychologist, you can make those snap judgments about just the way the people look. You think, who the hell ever let this guy out? At birth, he should have been locked up. And Sick Boy's picture looks like he's, part of the Manson family. It's incredible.
Marilyn.
That is very scary. It looks like... It's a picture on a leisure services car. This is where you go swimming or something like that, right?
This is where you go swimming or something, yeah?
And it looks like you've killed at least 3 people immediately prior to having this photograph taken. And, eaten their brains. And are looking at the photographer like he's next. I think you present a passport with this picture at any major port... And they'll wave you through because they don't want to actually stop you, but they'll be pressing the button like mad under the table. People with machine guns will be descending upon you, and they'll think, well, it could go either way, and they'll say, well, let's not take the chance.
Tommy Boyd, tomorrow from 3.
I need your help, I need your judgment. Next week it's the annual Massey Ferguson Radio Trail Awards, and we don't know which one to enter.
Do you, Tommy Boyd, take this woman to be your lawful bit on the side?
Convict FM!
Outside toilets, let's bring them back. Mental health, it's not that important.
Shortly the cabin staff will be coming amongst you for a weapons search and to get their kit off for the lads.
Tommy Boyd, tomorrow from 3.
With a carrier bag full of CD special effects, some music from a Pink Floyd album, and 3 little funny things at the end.
Tommy Boyd, from 3, every weekday afternoon on Talk Radio.
There's a good argument for...
Nick Abbott on Talk Radio.
Free call 0500 1053 89.
Hit me!
Of course, that's illegal too now. I can't hit you, even though I'd like to. Perhaps I could have someone else hit you for me. Not that kind of hit, although I have thought about that on occasion.
Why are you being nasty to me today?
I'm being
I know
nice.
you usually are.
Shut up.
I'll phone your mum.
So the comment column in the Mail, which often generally some papers in Fleet Street are like sort of bent old men, just kind of like impotently, like I said before, impotently shaking their stick at the modern world, and they just end up, they think they're sounding important, but they just end up looking ridiculous and silly. But the Mail kind of reminds me of some old buffer in a moustache who used to be something in the RAF, who's now living in a cottage and wears incontinence pants. But the imperious disdain of the central bankers in Frankfurt, he's going on about the Queen not being on our notes if we go into the Euro thing. The imperious disdain they have for national sensitivities affords a timely and menacing reminder that nothing is more sure a sign of the warning of the independence of a state, the waning, of the independence of a state than when it abdicates its right to issue and design its own currency. Who cares what the currency looks like? I mean, you don't want the money to look like the Dutch money, because that's just ridiculous money they have over there. I think they were stoned when they designed it. It looks like monopoly money. But equally, what is on a £10 note, Kev, without going into your pocket?
Like I have one.
And Russ, Sick Boy seems to have gone. Apparently the police have realised now who he is, and they've arrived at the building with a straitjacket. I bet you can't tell me what's on a £10 note, or a £5 note, or a £20 note.
The Queen?
No, the design we're talking about now. And this is an indication that and in the audience too, you can play along at home. I bet not one single person. A fiver is the thing you probably see the most, right? I've seen thousands of them.
On a £10 note, there's a picture of Danny DeVito playing cricket. I think. No, seriously, he looks like... It's obviously not Danny DeVito, but it looks like him.
This is only because you must have said this on a radio show before. I have some vague recollection of this.
One of yours.
Right.
And a £5 note, I don't know. But as you say, you don't look at them. You just look at the number, the fact it's got the Queen on it.
Exactly.
Kind of
Nobody gives a rat's ear about what the money looks like. I mean, the French have great money. It looks wonderful. It should be in a museum. It looks so great. But I'll fish it out now. Let's just...
Hey? Oh, and the money.
And the money, too. Okay, on the brown one, I don't like brown, a £10 note. There's the Queen on one side.
Okay.
And it's almost like I'm looking at it for the very first time. If her face... And let's face it, that is not a nice portrait. She must be 20 years old in this photograph here. Not a photo, this sketch. I mean, just like 20 in that. How old is she now?
Oh, she's older than 20.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's all sorts of squiggly things that look like, you remember on Top of the Pops when they used to have those, back before videos, they used to put those, you probably don't remember because you're just young. I need to work with older people. Russ won't remember because he is but an embryo. But you remember they used to put these, like, weird shapes that would change really terribly. Remember? Like,
yeah.
Like those things that were, that looked like telescopes but weren't, and you'd change them. You'd turn kaleidoscopes. Is that what they were?
Yeah.
Right. And on the other side, good grief, who the hell's that? Oh, it's Charles Dickens. He really should get a haircut. That is awful. Look at the state of this man's hair. He posed for a picture looking like that? I bet he didn't realize he was going to be on money. 100 years later.
I think it's probably just an artist's impression of what they think he looked like. It's like Crime Watch, really, isn't it?
Unbelievable. Charlie, get yourself sorted out, mate.
Yeah, that's him told.
And then there's a game of cricket. Dingley Dell. I thought that was something Noel Edmonds did.
No, that's Crinkly Bottom.
Oh, yeah. The cricket match, Dingley Dell against All Muggleton from the Pickwick Papers, 1836.
And is it Danny DeVito there?
At bat, yes.
Oh.
Or it could be you.
Hey.
And some bloke's getting his hat knocked off, and there's... I'm seeing this for the very first time. There's a church in the background, a tent where they're serving refreshments of some kind. There's a woman with a parasol. Dingley Dell and All Muggleton is on a flag that's being shown above the tent. And there's a crowd there, about, 15 or so people. And a bloke who looks like the Joker out of Batman is getting his top hat knocked off. My point being, who cares what's on the money? All you need to know is that that's a tenner.
What's on a £5 note?
I don't know. I haven't got a £5 note.
I do.
I throw those away.
I've got... Yeah, here's one I picked up. It's got the Queen on it, and it's got George Stephenson and a picture of his rocket.
Okay, we don't need to... Really?
Yes.
Wow, I should have kept them, perhaps. How big is it?
Well, it's not very big.
I see. Here's one in Norfolk. Hello, Dale.
Hello, Nick. You've got a rather unhealthy fascination there with money. Is this a hint to your employers or something?
Money.
What I wanted to speak about was, and you may not realise you do this, and don't take it as a criticism either, but when you're sometimes on, like, promoting competitions on the station or the other one, you do it full of enthusiasm, and you really sound as if you mean it, but deep down you sound as if you don't really give a flying monkeys.
No.
Yeah.
How can I sound as though I mean it and not mean it at the same time?
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. You're the only person I've ever heard do it on the radio. But, you know, you've got all the enthusiasm and everything there. But at the end of it all, it's just like, I'm saying this, I'm going to do it like... I'm the only one that notices it. Because I've done a little bit of radio. But you begin to remember me now, don't you?
No.
Oh, that's probably for the best anyway.
Ain't that annoying, Dale?
Nick.
Okay, well, listen, thanks for the...
I wanted to ask you something else as well. What's your opinion on student radio stations?
What's my opinion?
Good or bad idea?
I think it's a tremendous idea. People who want to get in this business, first of all, my advice, don't, which you will completely ignore. Second of all, go to university if you have the chance. Absolutely, it'll be a huge amount of fun. And if you want to get into business, go to a university that has a student radio station, then you can work on that for 3 or 4 years, have a lot of fun, and come out with a bit of experience.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm off to do, but I'm wondering if it's a bit too late. I don't know. I mean, I'm like 22 now. I don't know if that's too old or not.
Too old for what?
To get. Well, I've already been to university once and did a business management course, and realised that wasn't really what I wanted to do anyway. So I ended up in the radio industry, and I'm off to learn some more about it at Luton.
Luton
University.
Right. You're going to do another degree?
Well, the first one was only an HND, so it doesn't really count, does it?
Okay, well,
although a lot of people will probably disagree with me over that, but...
Practice.
Okay, Nick. Then I'll be as good as you one day.
Yeah, maybe. Practice makes defect. Thanks a lot, Dale. 0500 1053 89. It's a free call. Can you fill, Kevin? I'm going to take my jumper off.
Oh, okay. You can still fax us. We need show descriptions for the nice people in Forward Planning by fax or email only. 0541 59 69
Okay, shut up.
79.
Here's one in London. John.
What? Oh, right, sorry. God, I was nodding off there, man. Hello?
Yes.
You heard about before about the old empire and the old Commonwealth and all that. It struck me that we never actually Commonwealthed any Northern Hemisphere countries.
Right.
Did we?
Well, Canada.
No, but we didn't. What?
Canada's part of the Commonwealth, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, apart from that one, then.
Apart from all of those, all of the ones that are...
but apart from them ones.
Yeah, none of them isn't. Yes, or something like that. Well put, John. What a good argument. Here's one in King's Lynn. Hello, Gemma.
Hello. Right, I have to tell you something. First of all, your currency. I think Rodham and Emu should be on every single note.
Yeah.
Anyway, a boy in my sixth form ate a live fish.
A live fish?
A live goldfish. He went to the shop and chose the fish he was going to eat.
Really?
Yeah, well, I came back from lesson one day and this girl went, he's going to eat a fish. Do you want to put some money in the kitty? I gave him 50 pence. I didn't expect it to happen. The next thing, these boys come back to the shop and everyone's crowded in this alleyway outside of school. And, they're all where the 14-year-old smokers go. There are about 40 people.
Yeah.
And this boy gets out of this car. We'll call him X, because he might get offended.
Yeah.
X gets out of the car. And then X's friends get out of the car. And they go, in the red corner.
Who's driving the car?
Oh, we're at sixth form. It's all right.
Oh, right.
Don't worry.
Okay.
And they go, in the red corner, and they bring out this bag with this tiny, sweet little goldfish swimming around in it. And they go, and in the blue corner is this big fat X. Right. And, sorry, I mean, no, it's cool. Anyway, and everyone went, go. And he put this fish in there and just put it in his mouth. And he chewed on it.
Really?
And its tail was sticking out of his mouth.
Are you sure it wasn't a piece of carrot? Because that's been done before.
It was definitely a live fish. So someone put it in his hand. And anyway, after about 10 seconds of chewing...
Oh, wait a minute. He chewed it?
Yeah, he chewed it.
Oh, no.
Right? And when it spat out, it had no eyes.
Okay, you've gone too far, Gemma. Good. Oh, blimey.
It was sour, right? And I said, why was it sour? And he went, I think it was the stomach acid.
Lovely. Please enjoy your tea at home.
Yeah, we just like to say to everyone, don't eat fish unless they're dead.
Yes. Thanks a lot, Gemma. Now you've made us feel really ill.
I'm sorry.
Okay, bye. I'll put the microphone to my stomach.
You see a doctor about that.
I know. I need some antacid. I can feel it getting better. That's all I needed to do. Here's one in Harlow. Hello.
How are you doing?
All right.
Good. I'm going to try desperately not to sound like the fourth person in a line of strange callers.
Yes.
It just regards the condoms at the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah.
I think you're more or less right there. I think that you actually distributed condoms depending on what event you're actually competing in.
Hey?
And the 3 condoms, I believe, was given to the triple jump contestants.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's almost a joke, really.
Yeah, kind of. Close, but no cigar. 0500 1053 89. Of course, you know what to do with a cigar when you get one. Here's one in Gillian. Well, maybe. In London. Hello, Gillian. Gillian.
Oh, is it me?
It sounds
oh,
like
God,
you,
hold
dear.
On, hold on. Sorry.
Who are you listening to?
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith.
Yes, sorry about that. Right, I was so long waiting on the phone. It's a serious point, so don't mock, but I'm really perturbed. And the reason is, when you talk to women about men's bodies, they always laugh and giggle and say that their genitalia is so funny or it's so ugly and no one ever wants to see it. And I think that's absolutely vile. Well, not, I mean that they're saying it.
Oh.
If the boot was on the other foot and a bloke was saying that about a woman's body, she'd be mortified. And I think a man's body, in the raw, either aroused or not, can be divine looking. And that was it. And I just think any woman that says that it's anything different is either lying through her teeth or she's dead.
Yeah, or...
A what then? Pardon? I didn't hear that. It's good.
Didn't you? Okay, well, we'll send you a tape in the post, Gillian. Thanks a lot, dear. 0500 1053 89. It is a free call. Let's have one in Helmshaw. Hello, Brian.
Hello. You were talking about money just before. And one thing I can't understand is I go to America quite regularly, as my son lives over there, and all the notes over there are the same size.
I know. And they all look the same as well.
They're easy to handle because they've just got the number on the right-hand corner, which hits you right away.
Well, it doesn't. I disagree.
Do you? Well, I find it quite easy to handle. But anyway, the point is that I've asked people over there, how do the blind people manage in America?
Well, that was going to be my question.
It's been mine for some time, and I've asked them repeatedly and oft, and none of them seem to know. They say, some of them have said, well, they keep it in different compartments. Well, how the hell do they know it's the same size? What compartment to put it in? I was wondering if there's any Americans listening that could perhaps answer the question.
No, I think American money is dangerous because you kind of will half look at it and give it to somebody, you're not realising you're giving 100 instead of a 1.
Well, I'm probably a bit more frugal than you. I always look at it very carefully and tell them that's out of 20 or out of 10 or out of 50, whatever.
Yes, no, I think money should always be there's different sizes and different colours.
I agree with you. Obviously, the colours wouldn't matter to blind people, but obviously the size and shape would.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting if anybody could perhaps answer that for me.
Well,
that's like answer in America.
That's like 2 callers in a row, both of which are interested in size and shape. Here's one in London. Hello, Riaz. Riaz. Yes, Riaz.
One of the callers mentioned countries in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
And you agreed Canada. What about India and Pakistan? They are both in Northern Hemisphere.
Are they?
Oh, indeed.
I know nothing about geography.
Well, equator from south of Pakistan is roughly about 1,000 miles. So which hemisphere can it be then?
I kind of miss what you just said, but whatever it is, you're completely right. Unless, that is, you're completely wrong. One of the two. Here's one in, it's been labelled as one in Hulver.
Hulver, that's me.
Yeah, Joan.
Oh, that's me. Yes. Hello, Nick.
Joan.
Yeah, you know that mad thing from Hulver. That's me.
No.
Of course you've heard about me with the fleas and things. I want to talk to you about spiders.
Right. Have we ever spoken before?
Yes. I was a cleaner.
Don't recall. Well, Kev does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cleaned up for Lord... What's his name, didn't you?
That's right, I did.
Yeah, Lord Biscuit or something.
Yeah. The thing is, Nick, I want to talk to you about spiders. We had a great big spider under our television. We called it Jesus Christ Superstar. Comes out, I know you don't have spiders. Are you listening to me?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And if you find a money spider, wind it round your head 3 times and you'll have ever such good luck.
What on earth are you talking about, dear? You keep a spider that's a pet underneath your TV?
Yes, Jesus Christ Superstar. It was 1 inch long.
It was how many inches long?
1 inch.
1.
Yes. Now, look, if you find... I know you don't like spiders, because I was listening to a program. Now, if you get a money spider...
How do you know what that is?
It is a thing that comes down on a fine thread. Wind it round your hair and wish, and you'll have loads of luck.
Right, because that'll probably work, yeah.
It will, won't it? Oh, I hope your luck's changing, you know.
My luck's fine at the moment. With the possible exception of some of the callers that we've been having. 0500 1053 89. It is a freak all. And here is a call in Haworth. Brian.
Yes, hello. How are you?
All right, mate.
I'd like to know how many people can describe the tail side of a penny.
Isn't it a portcullis?
It is.
See?
Yes, but how many people know that?
Well, I do. There's one.
I knew that as well. Yeah, Ross, did you know that? Yeah, Ross knew it as well.
I think a penny is an easy one. What's on the back of a 2p piece?
A 2p piece.
See, I wouldn't know what that is. Or a 5p? Absolutely not.
Well, the 5p is well, it looks to me like
it's a thistle, isn't it, the 5p? Used to be. Let's find out.
It's a thistle.
Yeah, the penny is easy, because, I don't know, you just sort of know what a penny is. You see a lot of them. On the 20p is a thistle. Oh, no, it's not.
No, a 5p is a thistle.
5p is a thistle.
Yeah.
Well, the 20p looks thistle-y.
But what's the tuppence?
I haven't got one.
Oh, I've got a tuppence. It's, it's that Welsh thing with the feathers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but what do you call it?
A fleur-de-lis or something, isn't it? That was impressive.
A what?
A fleur-de-lis. Does that sound right to you, Nick, or are you too busy counting your money?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've only got £3.42.
On the 20p, it looks like a rose. With thorns. Every rose has its thorns. I can't believe we're doing this.
No, I can't either. Listen, Brian, we got to go, mate. 0500 1053 89. It is a free call. And talking about money, this was in some of the papers, like I said, bent, silly old men shaking their stick at the New World. And some papers are really kind of snide and like kind of queeny, bitchy, kind of just slightly obnoxious. Do you know what I mean? That's a direct question to you, Kev.
Yeah, no, I was just putting my money back in my pocket. Yeah, no.
This is in the business page of the Mirror, something called City Slickers. An amusing take, because people who read the Mirror usually aren't interested in finance, stuff like that, so they have to make it funny. And every page, generally they will highlight a word that will sum up what the story is, right? And unless they give it an actual headline, they'll highlight a word in the story, like if it's a story about Madonna, for instance, they'll highlight Madonna's name, so the people who are interested in Madonna will do, I'd like to read that story, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, in this page, the only word that they ever highlight, it seems, is slicker, meaning the two guys who write the column. So whatever it is, the only word that's highlight is slicker. Well, Slicker was talking to Madonna, which makes it ridiculous. It's like putting an index, page 1, see page 1. You know, it's useless. And this loser of the day. Losers of the day are Peter and Michael Caine, who saw nearly $6 million wiped off the value of their shares in the family business called Business Post. A friend of the Caines told Slicker, highlighted, Pete lost around $4.7 million on his shares yesterday, so he must have been a bit disappointed. Mike lost only $1.2 million, so I guess you could say he had a better day. The final sentence, what a couple of losers.
Michael Caine.
It says on the business section of the Mirror. What a couple of losers, it says, like reveling in the fact that these two guys lost this money. Which and losing the money means that they're only now worth £125 million. What a couple of losers, eh?
Yeah.
That is just, I mean, do you understand what I mean by kind of really just desperately queenily, bitchy, backstabbing? I mean, what the hell is that about? What a couple of losers who are worth more money than these two guys and everybody in this building and all the rest of us put together are ever going to see in our entire lives. What a couple of losers, eh? Incredible. So, where are we now? We're going to take a break now, or what?
Yeah, take a break.
When are we going to take a break now? I don't know why I pressed that. It was a complete mistake. What a loser.
Anoraks. Email Nick now. nabbott@talk-radio.co.uk.
And talking of money, the front page of The Sun, can you believe that? That's the most important news in the world, because they've found out how much the people in Coronation Street are getting paid. Amazing what constitutes news in this country, isn't it?
Just a bit.
And I was really surprised at the Sun's take on this, because I would have thought, most of these people I've never heard of. They're getting between, the top 10 are between 98,000 and 171,000 a year. When I would have expected the Sun to say, this is awful, nurses only get threepence halfpenny, But they didn't, they said, and I quite agree with them, they're being ripped off. Of course they are. This is the most watched television program in this country, and the top earners on 171,000 a year, and of course that sounds like a huge amount of money, and it's a decent whack. But how much money are these people making for Granada Television that makes this program? I mean, that must be a living, breathing, money-making machine, that program. An incredible amount of money must be pouring in. These guys should be on $1 million a year, at least. The top 10 people should be on $1 million a year. Because why do people watch this show? Because of these people. I mean, the people who write the scripts should also be on, a fair whack. Mm-hmm. But it's the TV stars. And to be that famous, because that's the thing with, a lot of people froth at the mouth about how much money people in show business make. But the thing to understand is, once you're this famous, and there can be precious few people who are more famous than the top 10 people who work in Coronation Street and EastEnders, because they're in people's front rooms almost every single day. I mean, there's no bigger TV star in this country, right? I mean, Bruce Forsyth might be more readily recognized, but he's been on the television for like 20, 30 years. Mm-hmm. But these people, and just like superstars in this country, and 171,000 a year does not protect you from the general public. It'll go some way to making your life comfortable, of course, but it won't allow you to run around in a limousine, and it won't get you a house with a wall around it, and, all the protection that comes with being a well-known face, particularly because a lot of what these people are doing in people's front rooms is not nice. I mean, Bruce, how can you not love Bruce Forsyth? Everywhere he goes, he'll get hassled for autographs, and, I love you, Bruce, and, you're a really funny guy, and can I take my picture with you, and all this sort of stuff. Love will be poured at him. But, I don't know, I haven't seen this program, but I would imagine a lot of these people are real painted evil characters, right? And the general population is so stupid that they can't distinguish between what people play as a character actor and their actual personality. I'm vaguely aware that a real bruiser of a looking bloke with a bald head is supposed to play an evil character. Because I was reading somewhere or other that people go up to him in the street and give him a hard time, like they throw bottles at him and stuff like that. I can't remember what the bloke's name is. I can't even remember whether it's in Coronation Street or EastEnders. It's probably EastEnders. I think he's a Londoner.
Ross.
You might be
people
right.
Like Ross, so don't they? I mean,
well,
Ross
I don't know, but it's kind of like JR. People will at the time thought he was an awful bloke and would harangue him in the street. The difference being that Larry Hagman was made a multi-millionaire from that program, and these people, it's going to take them 10 years to be a millionaire, not a multi-millionaire, a millionaire.
But they can do Panto as well.
Oh yeah, that's really going to rake the money.
No, we joke, but Panto actually does rake in a lot of money. You can actually make a lot of money from Panto. You should consider it.
Yeah, right. But I keep getting letters from Equity. 10 years after I was a member saying, we see your membership has lapsed. Yeah, 10 years ago it lapsed. No, but this ain't enough. I mean, it's just not 171,000 as a top earner on the biggest show on television. I mean, what these people should do is all go on strike, and then Granada will be screwed. Like the Friends team went on strike.
Altogether, yeah.
That's right. There was the hottest show on television at that time. It still remains one of the hottest.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, hell no, we won't go. And they got 60,000 each per episode. Now, Friends is shown, there's like, in America they have much longer runs than we do because they have more writers and there's more money put behind it, and it's just a more professional thing. Over here, our comedy tends to be a little cottage industry where one bloke knocks out 6 shows a year or something stupid like that. Over there, it's, I think it runs a half a year or something outrageous, like 20 episodes. 20 times 20. 60 grand.
Plus they show repeats when they're not showing new ones anyway. So it's on...
Yeah, that's 1.2 million a year, is it not? So, and you can protect yourself from the crazed general public with that kind of money. But Friends, again, it's one of those things where everybody loves you, because they're not stabbing each other in the back, and it's like one of those feel-good things. You'll have your nut-obsessed stalking freaks who think they have a personal relationship with you, and you want to protect yourself from them. But you're not actually playing a nasty, vicious piece of work that the public spends most of their life hating.
Yeah.
And so that's what they should do. They should all strike. Because then what are they going to do? What is Granada going to do? They're going to sack them all? Of course not. They should speak to each other and say, this is ridiculous. I mean, how much are the people who are running Granada making from that show? It must be tens, hundreds of millions a year. The amount of advertising, the cost of advertising on Coronation Street to reach 17 million people must be astronomical. It's the biggest audience in television. I mean, no football, but hardly any football match will beat that, right? You might get England versus Germany in the final and get 23 million, something like that, which is only 5 million more than what's damn Coronation Street. So, of course, absolutely, strike today. They should be earning 10 times this amount. And people will say, oh, well, that's outrageous because, as I said before, the nurses only earn 10 grand a year or something like that. Well, the harsh reality is that nurses don't actually make any money for their employers. That's why Michael Jackson, for instance, I don't know why he was the first name that came to me.
No.
But is worth 40 million or 100 million or whatever it was that his record company gave him for, 10 years worth of records. Is because he's going to make his record company 200 million or whatever it might be. They ain't giving him the money, or anybody in show business, just because they like him. They're giving them the money to secure their services so that they will make even more money. And that's just what life's like, That's why big bosses get paid more than people who work on the production line. Because production line people are expendable, interchangeable. As nasty and unpleasant and harsh as that might be, that's what life's like. But, the director of British Gas or British Telecom or whatever it might be is making his company and the shareholders, who are, in effect his bosses, much more money than they're actually paying him. So he's getting 10 million a year, or so Bill Gates is getting 40 million a year, whatever. He's making the company billions. So of course he's worth it. Now you would say, well, the nurses are doing a much more constructive and appealing job to the general public. Of course they are, but that's just the facts, man. That's called survival. Survival of the fittest. And you don't have to be fit to survive in this country and in this society, because fitness is out the window. It's money. It's how you can screw others, and how much money you got. How many calls have we taken this hour? Like none.
No, we've taken a few.
A couple, yeah. Right, we'll better take some because these people are being.
Well, we do kind of need to break.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
Sorry about that.
I keep forgetting to bring in all my limericks and little cute into-break things.
Sorry, I keep forgetting to bring in your birthday present.
Oh, yeah, what is it?
Well, if it tells you...
Is it a tape of David Letterman that you've been promising for me about 6 months?
Okay, well, that's one, and I've given you a tape of David Letterman already.
Yeah, about 6 months ago.
Yeah, well, there's another one on the way. soon. But that's
Again,
not, that's
this
not
is your default mechanism, isn't it? Yeah. Mana. Mana. Am I the only one doing this? Am I the only one who knows these words?
Nick Abbott.
You have got to talk to him. He'll listen to you.
All right, it seems that we have not a celebrity call, but knows a celebrity call. How do I put 5 back on hold? Michael, you don't mind waiting for a second, do you?
No.
Okay, top man. How do I do that?
Just press the button again.
Press the button again.
You always do this.
No.
All right, just press the big button marked hold.
Hold. Come in here and hold this, Kev. Okay, here is... Oh, damn, I pressed the wrong line again. I hold him too?
Yeah, hold everyone.
Okay, here's 3.
Let's take no calls.
Yeah, it's a mobile in Bury. Greg.
Hi, mate. How you doing?
All right.
All right. You might be interested who my dad was.
Who's your dad?
He still is. He's still living and breathing. Peter Adamson.
Who dad?
He's Len Fairclough.
Now, you'll have to forgive me for my ignorance, but who's Len Fairclough?
Who's Len Fairclough? My goodness, you're only 40.
38.
Oh, I do apologise. Len Fairclough.
I've never watched Coronation Street.
One of the strongest leading roles in the Coronation Street for about the first 200 years of it being on.
Really? Well, I apologise, but I've never seen a whole episode of either Coronation Street or EastEnders. I know that marks me out as some kind of freak, but Len Fairclough.
Len Fairclough. He was married to Rita Fairclough.
Now, I think looking down my little thing here, Rita Fairclough is...
171, something like that.
Okay, describe what he does look like.
What he looks like, he was red-haired, fat, round-faced, and he was about, well, he still is, 5'6", 5'7", and he was a builder. He married Rita Fairclough, or Rita Littlewood, who's now Rita whatever she's called, and he was basically written out of the street in 85, 86, something like that, because he was accused of assaulting some young children in the swimming pool.
This is your dad?
This is my dad.
Right.
My dad.
And so what was his experience of money in the street?
He was on 500 quid a week.
What?
It was £500 a week. I'm talking right from him starting, the salary never actually went up. Right up to him leaving, his salary was always the same.
Unbelievable. And how did he feel about that? Did he feel cheated, or did he just feel like that was the way it is?
I can't say he peed off, but he was very peed off because, it was at a time when Dallas was like in its height, and of course all the stars of Dallas, etc., they were all being paid exorbitant sums of money, like more than £500 a week.
Yeah.
I went to the local secondary modern, and of course everybody thought I was a superstar with a silver spoon, but
Of course, yeah, you're on TV, therefore you've got a load of money, yeah.
Why is your dad not driving around the Rolls Royce, etc., etc. I mean, we live well, and...
Well, didn't the cast, did he not tell you that the cast had ever sort of were grumbling about this? Because I know people in show business generally don't talk to each other about how much money they make, because nobody earns the same, and people will get jealous, and there'll be fights.
Well,
but surely all the cast kind of knew that they were all being underpaid.
Yeah, they did. Stephen Hancock, who was Emily Bishop's husband, he basically put in for a pay rise because of that reason. I think he was still on, I wouldn't say he was on equity minimum, because I don't think any street artists were on that. But he certainly wasn't on as good a screw as the rest of them, which was still 500 quid a week.
And wasn't there a feeling amongst the cast that perhaps they should get together and, as one, they could hold Granada to ransom?
Because the snag with working at Granada, and this is what my dad found, is that you are basically limited to what else you could do. I.e., if you did start to complain about what sort of, why aren't we being paid X amount? Well, there's the door. Bye.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, if the whole cast got together as one and said, right,
they'd never do it, because there's never there's no life after a soap opera. Certainly, if you've been in it for the last 200 years. I mean, if Bill Roach left tomorrow, he'll probably get maybe one series if he was lucky, but then it would be all theatre work. There's never... I mean, the only people that ever managed to do anything is on the BBC. Or Brookside. They seem to do okay. But anything out of, anything that has been... Any person that's been in your living room for the last, Monday and Wednesday for the last 20, 30 years, they're always typecast as that builder. Or, look at Hilda Ogden, what's she doing talking posh?
Yes, that's a very good point. If people know you only as one and only as one thing, then you are forever that thing.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing was, after he, in inverted commas, left Coronation Street, he went on to, he had a successful couple of years in Canada, and then he came back and did a tour in the West End. Well, he didn't do a tour in the West End, but he did a play in the West End. And he was then typecast as a policeman, and all he could get was policeman work.
Really?
Like now he's retired and he lives in Lincoln, quite near my brother.
Okay, well, a lot of people at home will know him. I apologise for my ignorance in this respect, but how's your dad doing?
He's fine.
Okay.
He's brilliant.
Cool.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Okay, thanks a lot, Greg.
All right.
Cheers, mate.
Keep up the good work anyway. I listen to you on the other place as well.
Ah, cool.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, ta-da. 0500 1053 89. It's a free call, so that's about as close to a celebrity as we've ever had. Except when Carol calls. What's going on in there, Kev? You seem to be freaking out.
No, it's okay. It's just the travel thing didn't connect, so it's going to be a little bit later than that, right? Usual. Sorry, news guy. We're going to be a little bit late with your news. He doesn't mind. He's great.
Here's one in Chesterfield. Hello, Michael. Thanks for holding.
That's okay, Nick. How are you?
All right.
Good. I don't know if you've seen in yesterday's Mirror, Nick, the Mark Chapman who shot John Lennon.
Yeah.
The album that John Lennon was signing, it's predicted it's going to be sold for £1 million.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Almost makes you want to go out and shoot someone, doesn't it?
Yeah. Nick, before you cut me off.
Yeah, let's be quick.
Last night you were on about silverfish and things in the bath. I had the same thing.
How'd you get rid of them?
A crawling insect powder.
Crawling insect powder.
This is Talk Radio, the 1998 KPMG commercial radio station of the year.
I just recently split on my girlfriend because she was like too timey behind my back, and the person she was too timey with happened to be one of my best mates who I grew up with the whole of my life.
Are you crying?
Sort of.
Oh, can we send him something in the post? There's nothing we can send you that can possibly make up for what you've been through, but
we could send you 2 tickets to the movies, perhaps.
You are fired, Kev.
Manu, you're talking to me. We went to the cinema, to see that new Armageddon, whatever that new...
Armageddon. You have to get the emphasis right.
Russ, get Nick some chocolate.
Yeah, don't go to the newsagents because you get that crappy cheap chocolate.
Yeah, who is it who makes that crappy cheap chocolate?
Oh, there's a couple of names.
No.
Grandmaster Flash was banned by the BBC for that record White Line.
Perhaps the BBC thought that they were encouraging poor driving. Alien spaceships, they'll just land like that. I've seen it in the movies.
Or they could beam down.
That's right, they could beam down, you useless great gonk.
Nick Abbott.
Like I said before, that seems unusually harsh of me to call you a useless great gong just for saying they could beam down. You must have edited that.
No, the only thing I did was I edited out, there was a gap before you said it. You said, they could do that. And then you went, you useless great gong.
Ah, it was in the gap, was it? In future, while you're doing that, mind the gap.
That's a London reference.
Useless great gong.
It's funny how that's catching on. Even Ian Collins calls me that.
Really? I had somebody else call you that in the building, too.
Yeah, I know.
So somebody in engineering.
Well, we got a few things to call the people in engineering, haven't we? Well, you have, rather.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, they've been great.
They have, actually. They've been very good to you. Now.
Yeah. Apart from my fader. Still haven't got my fader.
Oh, it's on the way, though. 2 weeks, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, it was 4 weeks last time I asked, so it's now going to be 2.
So let me see, that would have been... It was 4 weeks... Oh, and you asked 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Right. I just wanted to pause for a second there to make sure I've got the maths correct.
Yeah.
Here's a call about a tarantula in London. Hello, Russell.
Hi.
Russell.
How you doing?
All right.
I just thought you might be interested in a bit of a spider story I got. I was, just a while ago, I'd met a new girlfriend and had just started managing a band, believe it or not. And I was trying to come over all windswept and interesting. I don't know if you've ever done that.
Of course.
Of course. New girlfriend and everything. And I kind of waxed lyrical about, oh, spiders, oh yeah, they're great, love them. Anyway, they bought me a tarantula for my birthday. And,
wait a minute, who did?
Oh, sorry, the band that I managed.
Oh, right. Is this one of these death metal bands?
Well, if I told you it'd pinpoint me, and then I'd have to kill you. So,
oh, you mean it's a famous band that we know?
Kind of, yeah.
Is it a metal band?
No, they were a punk group.
A punk group? It's The Damned.
No.
Susie and the Banshees.
Look, you know, this is putting me right on the spot.
Oh, go on, tell us who it is.
Well, at the time it was Stiff Little Fingers.
It's Stiff Little Fingers, Suspect Device.
That's the one.
Yeah. And they bought you a tarantula?
Yeah, and it was...
What kind of sick weirdos are they?
Yeah, of course I had to come over all, oh yeah, I love it. And, of course they're going to hear it. They're going to hear this now and they'll be straight on the phone to me.
Right.
But anyway, I read that these things somewhere that these things are allergic to cigarette smoke.
Really?
Because I've never smoked in so many. You know, I started smoking like 100 a day to try and kill it. You had to feed it grasshoppers and stuff. It was
icky poo.
It was a nightmare, and I just thought you'd like to. That will teach me for being all windswept and interesting.
And how are Stiff Little Fingers doing these days?
Well, I don't look after them. I mean, we're still friends. You know, it was a amicable split, but they're doing okay. They're still there. You know.
This is their latest song, I believe. Bound to be a hit, Russ.
Well, you know, I told them to go heavier.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Well, let's get back to it.
Radio. Here's one in Ipswich in the phone box. Let's take him immediately. Hello, Darren.
Nick.
Darren.
You sorted out your silverfish problem
My
yet?
silverfish problem? No.
Right, information. Here we go. Silverfish, about 13 millimetres long, half an inch long. They thrive in damp, warm places. I'm reading this, by the way, such as kitchens and bathrooms. They hide in floor cracks and under skirting boards and are active at night. To prevent an infestation, minimise condensation, and check for leaking plumbing or rising damp. Filling cracks in floorboards. If silverfish appear, use a spray or powder labelled for use against crawling insects.
Okay.
All right then.
This is great having your own show, because whatever problems that you have, you just say on the air, and it's almost like having a team of experts at your beck and call.
Well, I tried to get through to you last night, but you was on one about Ainsley, so you got out your system yet?
Well, I don't know. That program got quite good reviews. I didn't really read the reviews completely because I was sort of put off that people weren't digging a large hole and burying the program. Did you see it?
No, I was too busy trying to get through to you.
Right, okay. Well, listen, thanks for the effort.
Right, mate. Bye.
0500 1053 89. It is a free call. Here is, let's see what this paper says. This is the Evening Standard, which is London's local snooze paper. Oh, unfortunately, it doesn't have Victor Lewis Smith. I'm sure that he would have chopped them off at the knees, because he specialises in really ripping shows apart. It's got somebody else called Peter Bradshaw. Who he? This is this thing last night, which is, it's incredible, but the BBC thought that it would be a good idea to distill all of the dire programmes that they got on in the afternoon and shake it up in a bucket and then pour it into your eyeballs as an evening programme. Incredible, but true. And they thought, who would be a good person to have as a host? Only the most annoying, by a long way, of all the daytime television presenters, Ainsley Harriott.
He's not even a presenter, really. He's a chef, isn't he?
I mean, the pain just gets worse and worse. Well, what are his credentials for being a chef, by the way? Does anybody know?
He can heat things up in oil. He's probably a very good cook. I don't know.
He gets me hot under the collar, no question about it. This is a TV review in the Standard. I won't read it all. Ainsley Harriott. It's named the Kingsley Aim. I'll tell you what, you go to the break, I'll read this and I'll distill a couple of sentences for you.
Nick Abbott on Talk Radio.
Free call 0500 1053 89.
Okay, not too much here, really. Have you've seen this guy, right? I mean, because I don't want to... I mean, if he's like the nation's favourite, then perhaps it's just me. I'm wrong.
Well, Line 1 has some comments.
Oh, really?
She's a bit mad about what you were saying. And, you know...
Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello, Rebecca.
Hello. Have you no manners?
Eh?
Have you no manners or respect for anyone else that does anything on television or wireless?
For anyone else, yes, of course, many people.
You just think you can be so rude to people. People aren't rude to you, and yet you've got no manners, you don't speak properly, but you don't hear other people saying, you know, what a sort of an idiot you are.
Oh, many people, over and over again, I'm sure they do.
Really?
Like you, for instance.
Really?
What's your point, dear?
Well, I would just like to hear you a little bit better mannered and have more respect for your fellow workers.
For who?
Pardon?
Who?
For anyone else that does any programs, whether it's on wireless or television. I mean, heaven's sake, have you no manners?
What is your specific point?
Well, you just go on and on about people and saying that they shouldn't be this, what credentials has he got for cooking? Can you cook
so
like he
it's
does?
Ainsley Harriott that's your problem, right?
Pardon?
You like Ainsley, is that what you're saying?
I like everybody, I hope, but I don't like your manners towards
wait a minute, you like everybody, but specifically not me.
I didn't say I didn't like you. I don't like your manners.
Well, you keep saying manners all the time. I'm expressing an opinion, dear. You say you're telling me that you've never sat in front of a TV and said, "Good God, this is awful. How the hell did this ever get on
you
here?"
don't have to watch him, do you?
I'm not saying I have to watch him. What I'm saying is incredible that him and whatever it was that he was doing last night is on the BBC. And as I said at the time, ITV put it on. That's just fine.
Other people like him. I just wish that you would be a little bit more respectful to your colleagues, whether they're on television or wireless.
He is no colleague of mine.
You're hopeless, I'm afraid.
Well, you're saying he's a colleague. I'm not working with the guy.
Well, I nurse, and I don't recall my fellow nurses.
Oh, please, I know all about the medical profession because my best mate happens to be a doctor. And I know exactly what the medical profession is like. It's a bunch of backbiting suck-up merchants, especially in the...
What do you say?
Especially...
oh, gosh, it's awful, isn't it?
Oh, please.
It's just awful.
Oh, Rebecca, you should go join the church. They'll make you a saint. 0500 1053 89. It's a free call. Good grief. This is just like what you do down the pub. You go down the pub with your mates and you have a chat and you say, good grief, did you see that unbelievable tripe that they had on the TV last night? Of course, that's what everybody does, apart from you, Rebecca, because you're perfect. But there's me again, losing my manners. But he's just this kind of... And the thing about Ainsley that really aggravates me is that there's nothing, in my opinion, that he does that is funny. Yet he thinks he's hilarious, and he'll say any ridiculous thing and then goon at the camera, like he'll open his mouth wider than the Mersey Tunnel and go, ain't I funny? And the answer is no. Doesn't matter how many times you kind of gurn at the camera, it still doesn't make it funny, you know? This is a man who must have been told that he's hilarious and, engaging and, just a general all-around funny performer. And I'm sorry, but I don't see it. Just someone who goes, kind of opens his eyes really wide and kind of goes, I'm me, and it's just not funny. Are you still there, Rebecca?
I am. You're doing just exactly the same on the wireless, aren't you?
Well, you don't have
can't see you, but people can hear you trying to be funny.
Well, Rebecca, why... Okay, wait a second, Rebecca. Why are you listening to me?
Why am I listening to you?
Yeah.
Because I go to bed early because I'm on early in the morning. Can you imagine if his
What the
mother...
hell? Is that a reason to listen to me because you go to bed early? I don't follow the logic.
You just listen to me a minute. If his mother was watching...
Well, answer the question, Rebecca. Why do you listen to this show?
Why do I listen?
That's right.
Well, I just popped my wireless on and it happened to be on that programme and you started talking about Ainsley Harriott.
Which is what I did last night, which is why you called up.
Obviously you did so by what you're saying tonight, yeah.
No, that's not what you said when you came on. You were listening to me last night and you were very offended. So you've listened to this show 2 days in a row now, but you really hate it. And where's the logic in that,
I didn't say
dear?
I hated it. I just said I wish you would be better mannered.
But you started criticising me, saying that the show's not funny. If it's not first of all, if it's not funny. Second of all, if you don't like the host, why the hell are you listening?
It's supposed to be funny, is it?
See, there you go. Now, where are your manners, Rebecca?
Please don't get up.
Oi! Not only manners, but grammar. Oi! Where'd you get oi from, Rebecca?
What would happen if his mother was listening, or his wife, or his sister? Do you not realise how embarrassed they would feel?
Ainsley is married.
He's married.
Really?
I've no idea. But I said if he was married, if his wife was listening, or his sister, or his mother, they'd be terribly embarrassed, wouldn't they? And humiliated.
Well, I guess so, but they would have turned off by now.
Oh, but you shouldn't have to, you see.
Either that, or so I should just sit here and be nice to everybody?
I hope so.
Grief, how boring would that be? I'm going for ratings here, dear.
Are you?
See, there you go, being sarcastic again, Rebecca. That's not nice.
No. In that case, what you're telling me is you have to be unkind and nasty to get ratings.
No, I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is if I just sat here like some bland geek and was happy and nice and didn't say a bad thing about anybody...
I would listen to you till midnight.
Okay, well, one person ain't enough, Rebecca. I'd get fired.
Oh, no, I'll get a lot of people to listen to if you were like that. Because my mother could listen, you see, if you were nice.
Yeah, well, that's way beyond the demographic that we're after. We want younger people.
Oh, really? All right. Thanks very much, anyway.
Yeah, okay, you're very welcome, dear. What a nice lady. 0500 1050 389. I hope I was being polite enough for you there. Oh, painful. But am I right about this guy? I mean, seriously, the rise and rise of Ainsley Harriott, and I just don't get it. Of all the people in all the world, he's got to be the most annoying presenter I've ever seen on television. And is he married? Could he have a wife?
He may well have a wife.
Really?
Yeah, and some small children.
You're joking.
No, he could be.
I guess. It's possible. You know what button I want to press now?
No, you are not going to press.
Go on, let me press that one there.
No, absolutely
that one right there.
No.
Third down from the top and second in from the left.
No, because you know full well you can't.
Oh, go on.
No.
I'll press that one instead. Of course, that's not very polite, but, you know, who gives a rat's ear? So it's 0500 1050 389 if you think you can stand my bad manners and, my ill temper and poor judgment. We need to take a break now?
No, not for another 20
Oh, really?
minutes.
I thought we were winding down to take a break.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we've got to pick myself back up again. Almost like Elizabeth from Cheddar says, I've got to pick myself up on your way down.
Penis through our penis we knew once my love was good enough. Through our penis we knew then fame and fortune came your way and made a change in me. You find...
Okay, this is just, it's not polite. What we need is a breath of fresh air, some beautiful music, I think, and this will please, what's the name who just called in? Alistair Wanklin.
Hans Steele.
Here's one in Aylesbury that's been waiting forever. Hello, Mick.
Hello, good evening, Nick.
How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, mate.
Okay, that's the polite part out the way.
Well, that is it. I'll just have to agree with you, everything what you've been saying about the trash that they've been transmitting on our TV. You know, it's that bad, Nick. You know, not even the Eastern Bloc countries would take our TV programmes over there, you know what I mean? You know, you talk about EastEnders, you know, everything's appalling from the clothes right down to the acting, you know.
I don't know, isn't the acting good on EastEnders? I thought they were good, those bits. Well, I don't know, I've never seen it.
Oh, well, you're a lucky man, like, you know. Half of the TV programmes that these directors are giving us, like, you know, it's probably for the unemployed, you know, sitting there during the daytime and they're thinking to themselves, oh my God, Christ, I've got to go out and get a job. I can't listen to this anymore.
Oh, you mean it's some sort of government conspiracy that they put Ainsley Harriott on in the afternoon or make people rush out and get a job?
Yeah, I think that's it, mate. Yeah, that's a good problem, you know.
And they did that, and they got on their bikes, as Norman once said, and then they come back in the evening, and hello, the BBC has screwed them because they put the man on in the evening now.
That's right, you know, just trying to get everybody out on the evening work now.
And guess what? Who else they've got in? It's incredible, the BBC. Have they ever come up with a single idea? In the last 10 years, have they had one single idea?
Say that again.
Have they had one single idea in the last 10 years? Can you think of one star that they've made themselves as opposed to bought in somewhere else? Guess who they've just given £1 million to?
Henry Kelly?
Oh, that's all we need is Henry Kelly to come back with Going for Gold.
What am I?
It's
W.
Yeah, exactly. What am I? Here's your starter for 10.
Let's Bamber Gascoigne then.
Alistair Wanklin, that's what I thought, yeah.
You know, there was another problem here, you know, with the directors of these shows. You know, what are you doing? What, you want Prozac all your life? You know, it seems to me they're so depressed, you know, that they were thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? My wife or my girlfriend's run off with me dad, and, you know, I'm so depressed. I'm going to give it off to the rest of the punters. They're the ones who are going to pay me wages at the end of the day, you know. Hang them by the nads, that's what I say, Nick, you know. Hang them by the nads, but then after, you know, what am I going to say about it? You know, they give us trash hour after hour, day after day, you know. And
it's the only kind of language they understand.
Yeah, you know.
So there's his argument in a nutshell. Thanks a lot, Mick. 0500 1053 89. It's a free call. £1 million to... Have they made a star themselves? No, they haven't. They bought one from another channel, Gabby Roslin.
Really? Well, she was doing stuff there anyway, wasn't she?
She was doing stuff for the BBC.
Yeah,
not before she did stuff for Channel 4. And
that's true.
And it's the same thing again. They just buy... Because they haven't got a single idea in their head, it seems. Maybe I'm being unkind, but the last couple of years on the BBC, like, what the hell have they actually produced that's original and, you know, of themselves? Can you think of anything? No, I'll just leave the field completely open. I'm being as fair as I can be.
How long
can you
ago?
think of one single thing in the last few years that the BBC has actually brought up from the ground and produced that's, you know, something that's... Didn't they even steal that football... Oh no, the football focus thing went the other way. Okay, well, I'll give them that.
Football focus?
But what the hell...
Fantasy football?
Two blokes in the evening.
Oh, right, yeah. That was them.
Well, it was kind of, but it was a production... It was an out-of-house production, wasn't it? I don't think it was the BBC at all. I think somebody went to them and said, hey, we'll do this.
I was going to say, have I got news?
No thought required on their part. Ditto, no thought required on their part. It was,
were we talking about BBC One or Two?
It was a hat-trick production. If the BBC hadn't bought it, then they'd given it to Channel 4. See, exactly.
One foot in the grave?
Okay. Oh. Is that the last couple of years?
Well, it's been around for a few years.
Yeah, many years now. I mean, you might as well say Dad's Army.
No, I mean, come on, we're talking, it must be 5 years.
Actual real-life TV stars. Gabby Roslin's nicked from Channel 4. She's gonna get paid £1 million of public money to do, guess what? A live, fly-on-the-wall look at a hospital.
What about Anthea?
Wait a minute, the pause.
Sorry.
First of all, another fly-on-the-wall documentary. Second of all, about a hospital. Good God, it could only have been a police station, which would have been worse. How much medical drama do we need on TV? I mean, do we not have enough? If it's not a police show, it's a show set in a hospital. And that's all we need, is another damned fly-on-the-wall program. That's all they've got there now. Every show's a fly on the wall, or virtually every day. It's the damn parking people thing, and the driving instructor show, and every other kind of show that you could possibly imagine. They've had a fly on the wall. I'm amazed that they haven't had a fly on the wall camera crew following around a fly on the wall camera crew. They've done every other damn profession. It's amazing. Gabby says, I won't be looking for blood in the operating room. I'm more interested in nurses snogging doctors. So they're... So the BBC's safe in their hands, no dumbing down there. Unbelievable. It is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit, yeah.
Because I thought that I don't want to bang on about this every night.
Too late.
But I just thought their purpose was to give us quality television. You know, I just thought that's what they were supposed to be doing. You go to France and see this rubbish. You know, this is the sort of crap that American audiences have to put up with, such that they all buy cable and get their films, bust in down the telephone wires, or whatever the hell you call them.
Is that the technical
That's the technical term, yeah.
Ah, right. Bust in down the phone wires.
Because nobody can stand to watch the networks. It's all crap. It's all repeats. It's all bought-in stuff. It's all copies of other shows, and it's all crap. And they still have the nerve to say, well, you know, we're the world's leading broadcaster of quality material. And you're thinking, oh, yeah?
So you're pretty much throwing away the chance of that chat show now, aren't you, Dick?
Oh, yeah, like I'm going to go and work for the Beeb, like they would have me.
Well, not now.
Not ever, never. Here's one in Weir. Hello, Becky.
Hello, Hello?
Hello.
Hi, I'd just like to apologise on my namesake's behalf, that silly woman, Rebecca.
Who's that?
She was calling you a naughty man for being so rude.
Yes, she was a very nice lady.
Oh, she was lovely, wasn't she, silly cow?
Well, that's a very offensive thing to say.
No, well, yeah. Watch me manners, isn't it, manners? Hello?
Yeah.
No, the original reason I first phoned out was to say how brilliant I thought you and Kev were. I mean, this is the first time I've tuned into your programme, and, well, if your manners are bad, then I'd like to listen to you 24 hours a day. Honest to God, you are absolutely brilliant, and you've really made my day.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mum. That was perfect, almost like we'd rehearsed it. Manners. Here's one in Poole. Hello, James.
Hiya, Nick.
James.
How's it going, mate?
All right.
Well, I was phoning about, you know, in Australia and New Zealand, at the end of the video cassette, it says you can't hire them there.
Excuse me?
Not for hire or sell in Australia or New Zealand at the end of videotapes.
It does?
Yeah, why is that?
I think, well, it's part of that whole thing that American film companies want staggered release in the States and in Europe and in Britain and in Australia and probably now China and so on and so on. They don't want it all coming out at the same time. For what must be economic reasons, although I can't really...
so you're saying that in Australia and New Zealand it comes out later?
Or earlier.
Alright, okay. Yeah.
I also, there's also probably some sort of legal reason why you can't buy a thing in one country and not another because of local taxes and blah blah, so on and so on.
And you can't play them on coaches either.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
Don't know, it just says it.
Oh, it's probably because that would constitute an audience, and then you'd have to pay extra for, it's like broadcasting it, where...
Yeah, but nobody's going to check, are they? There's no, policing of it.
Well, you could say, well, you can't kill someone, but, if you're out in the field on your own, no one's going to check. It's called the law, James. Please uphold it at all times. 0500 1053 89. It's a free call. Let's have one in London. Hello, Kathy.
Nick.
Kathy.
What was Rebecca on?
Well, she was probably a very nice lady. It's just she was very offended at my offensive behaviour, as it was quite right to be so.
Why the hell did she tune in then?
Well, that's what I was trying to fathom.
That man has the most annoying... He was the most annoying... I smashed my television in last night. I smashed it in.
Who's that?
Harriet flipping Hyatt. Who the hell is it?
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about this chappie last night you all arguing about.
Oh, Ainsley Harriet?
I don't want to even speak his name just in case. You know what I mean, though?
I was in a shoe shop a couple of weeks ago, and he was in there.
Oh, Ron.
You should have... he didn't actually choose a pair of shoes himself, but the shoes that he plucked off the shelf were
in the country.
About the worst pair of shoes in the entire shop. He loved them.
Oh, God, no.
He was there with, he was buying, I don't even want to say it, perhaps I shouldn't say it.
You will not say it. Just in case. I can't believe
He was buying a pair of shoes for someone, but I won't go on.
I don't know who he is. I've never seen him before.
He's a very big guy, and I hope I never meet him, because he'll probably beat 7 bells out of me, but...
You know what you look like.
He is a distillation of all the most annoying characteristics you could ever hope to see in a human being, and he's a TV presenter. Good God, who thought that was a good idea? And it seems like those chefs in the afternoon, they're all annoying. There's that guy with a moustache. He might be Scottish. I can't remember what his name is. Incredibly annoying. They all seem to think they're comedians. I mean, nobody cares about that. Why? You just... Would you want these people in your house? I mean, that's what you should look for in a television presenter, because basically you're inviting them into your house. Bland is good. That's why Anthea Turner is earning the money that she does, because you could be looking at the woman and still not see her. She's that bland.
Now, is she a BBC star? Because I think they created her before she went over to GMTV. Because she was doing Blue Peter, I think. She was doing kids' TV, and then she started doing grown-up TV.
Okay, well, finally we found one.
There we are. She's very famous.
Yeah, but it was Anthea Turner, whose ability runs to, as far as I can see, looking nice, smiling, and reading at the same time. I mean, this is not Professor Heinz Wolf we're talking about.
There's another BBC star.
This is a woman who smiles for a living. She might as well be a weather girl. I can't remember what point I was about. Oh, yeah, and that's the reason that she's so hugely successful and earns all this money, is because she's super bland. You could have her in your house and just kind of, like, forget she's there. You'd dust her every now and again. You know. But there's nothing about her to really dislike. Do you understand what I mean? Gabby Roslin, kind of the same, but not quite. Because she's a bit more feisty. I'd like to see her not do the kind of the stupid Happy Families thing that she does. She was much better when she was on with Chris. But then, you know, but that's sort of like reflected glory, I suppose, in a way. But and so that's what you know. If you're going to put somebody in front of a TV program who's not there because of their innate ability, and you know, there's Ainsley Harriott, he could probably cook up a nice meal, but there's a hell of a lot better cooks in this country than him. Let's face it. Must be millions. Thousands at the very least. Right, so he's not on that program because of his cooking ability. Otherwise they get Marco Pierre White. I'd like to see Marco Pierre White come in and do one of those cookery shows. He'd probably punch out the contestants.
Who?
Marco Pierre White.
Bless you.
Our, next to Terence Conran, probably our most successful restaurateur.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
I was in a restaurant, and he came in once, and he has such presence, it's phenomenal. He came in this huge hat, and he had his, he must have been cooking at another of his restaurants, and he just nipped out of the kitchen to have a drink at another one of his restaurants, you know, and he swept in. This is a really big guy. He must be like 15 stone or something like that, 6 foot some tall, and he really moves at speed, and he just swept in, and it's just kind of like fizzed. You know, you're in the presence of somebody who like stops a room. This was, and he's taking off the hat almost like he was in a western, and he's just like he was on gliders, goes right up to the bar, and suddenly there, you know, there's like 6 people around him fanning different parts of his body. It's like that. Oh, that doesn't work on radio, does it? I should have my own TV show.
No, I know what you mean, though. It's like that when Paul Ross is in during the week.
Yeah, and lots of girls at the bar. All of the girls at the bar suddenly started giggling manically for the entire period that he was there. Everything he would say was like, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Sorry, what was that?
They were in the presence of a large amount of money. And so it was quite comical, because all the girls at the bar giggling fits, like, woo, everything he'd say. You wanted me to do it again, so I did.
Go on. No, do it again.
No, I've done it twice.
Do your Frankie Howard.
Shut up. Oh, okay. Here's one in Oldbury. Hello, Maxine.
Hello, Nick. All right.
Yeah.
It just made me laugh when you said earlier about Ainsley Harriott. How could he possibly be married? But some of those awful geeks are married, aren't they? I mean, let's be honest. not beyond the realms of possibility.
Well, I suppose.
I think he's definitely married. I think he's got children as well.
You're joking.
I know, that's what I think as well. He's really annoying, isn't he? I can't imagine being married soon. I mean, you know, to be honest, if you're not married, you're more likely to be sort of like more normal, to be honest. I think everybody who's sort of like a bit like that's married, aren't they?
Are you married, Maxine?
I was, yeah. That says it, doesn't it, really? I'm not now, though. I've repaid my debt.
Okay, here's the other question. Are you normal?
No.
Just checking.
Are you Nick?
Are you insane?
Thanks a lot, dear. 0500 1053 89. It's a free call. We will go in order to come back again.
Nick Abbott.
You know, you think that he's helping you, but he's hurting you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you know, we should make this subject verboten now, because I think I've said all I need to say. So after tonight, we won't be talking about this anymore until, you know, the next time we talk about it.
Will I be Friday then?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Here's one in Trowbridge. Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Steve.
Yes, you're slagging the BBC off there. Couldn't let you get away with that.
Okay.
Because who bought us the Teletubbies?
The BBC, I suppose. Yeah, you're right.
And, you know, that's a big thing, isn't it, the Teletubbies? Do you not think?
Is it a big thing in your house?
It is, yeah, for my children. Essential viewing.
Really? How old are your kids?
3 and 6 and 9. I had to think about that then. I think they're my kids. Well, they sort of float around the house anyway.
And you ever see them watching that stupid program and think,
Wow, that kid has some real emotional problems.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, have you ever sat down and watched the Teletubbies?
Yeah.
I think it's perfect. It's a perfect thing to watch if you've been out.
Yeah, and you had about 20 pints.
Yeah, if you've been out all night, kind of, you know, going mental.
Yeah.
Because you come in and, you know, if you've been out all night and you come in, the very last thing you want to watch is daytime television or breakfast TV. Have you ever done that, Kev? You come in and you haven't been to bed yet, and it's like 7, 8 in the morning, and you turn on this because you just want to turn on the TV because you're still, you know, wired, and you don't want to go to sleep yet. And you turn it on, and it just really grates on you. You just think, get this off my television now. You just can't stand it. And so the Teletubbies, absolutely perfect, because they're in La La Land, naturally. And it's all brightly coloured, and it's perfect for that. It's also perfect viewing for a hangover. I can't think of anything that's better than the Teletubbies for a hangover, because first of all, it's all brightly coloured. Nothing ever happens, so there's no plot to worry about. You can keep up with the Teletubbies plot if you've got a hangover. And it's sunny. And if you miss the film that they show on one of the thing's bellies, they'll show it again in 60 seconds' time. Do you understand that? Why they show the same film twice in each thing? I don't get it. They must think kids are really stupid. Do you have really stupid kids, Steve?
No.
Well, perhaps you should wean them off it.
Ones like myself.
Of course.
Yeah. That Ainsley, before I go, what did you have against him?
What did I have against him?
Yeah.
It's just that his personality, I just can't...
Yeah, I have to say, when I first saw him, I actually thought he was gay, because he's quite feminine, isn't he? But he is actually married with children, so unless he leads a double life.
Okay, well, there's a happy note to finish on.
That's
Steve.
right.
Thanks a lot. What a relief. He's a family man. But, no, back to the Teletubbies. It is, actually, and I've tried this myself, one of the worst hangers I've ever had. And I was sitting slumped in front of the TV, because you just don't want to think about doing anything else. And the Teletubbies happened to come on, and I thought, ooh, this looks soothing. And it was. Better than the Plink Plink Fizz.
Tinky Winky, Dipsy, La La or Poo.
0500 1053 89. It's a free one. Here is one in Oldham. Hello, Grace.
Hello, is that me?
It sounds like you.
Oh, does it? Well, it went a bit dull there. Oh, what about this about the Teletubbies? I can certainly tell that you're a teetotaler after watching the Teletubbies after a hangover. I mean, really, all those bright colours could send you off your head.
Yeah.
I mean, really very confusing.
Right.
You know? Hello?
Yeah, talking about confusing. Where's this call going?
Confusing? Oh, it's from Oldham. I mean, don't forget Oldham, whatever you do. I mean, we're talking about the fall here. Where else is from Oldham? Let's see,
Wait a minute, Grace. First of all, with a name like Grace, I would expect you to be 100 years old, but you seem much younger than
Oh,
that.
that's very nice of you.
And second of all, on my screen it's got going to uni soon, doesn't think she'll be able to control herself.
Yeah,
What does that mean? Control yourself in what respect?
Control myself in a very certain respect. I mean, all these males behind me. I mean, how am I going to control myself?
All these what behind you?
Males.
Males? Okay, well, I think that they'll be able to control themselves, dear. It's just an inkling I have. I don't think you'll have any worries in that respect. Or am I not being polite? Here's one in London. Hello, Diana.
Oh, hi. Gosh, waiting for you is like waiting for Godot. Or should I say waiting for drug dealer. Listen, I phoned
Perhaps
you...
not, Diana,
because,
no. Yes, dear.
Yes. I phoned you because, as a reaction to that horrible woman who was slugging you off. I don't know how dare she. I absolutely worship the frequency you broadcast on. For the first time I went to the talk radio today, and I went to collect some photographs. And the main aim was to get a photograph of you. And then I saw a photograph of Mike Allen. Why doesn't somebody tell him that it's 90s now, not 70s? What kind of hairstyle he's got?
Thank you. That's a very offensive thing for you to have said, Diana.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I mean, I am Nicolite or Nicobotite, you know. I do follow you. So I just try to sort of go in line with you.
Appetite, do they grow up or down?
I think up, you know.
Up?
It must be up.
But every time I grow up, it's...
What a lovely day.
Thanks a lot, dear.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
0500 1053 89. It's a free call. Don't be coming on here and slagging off Mike. Here's one in Windsor, and it's a bloke called Tom.
Hello.
Tom.
How you doing?
All right.
Good. I wanted to talk to you about TV. I thought what you were saying earlier about how poor British TV is at the moment, generally. And I was watching an incredibly interesting programme on Sunday night on Channel 4 called Portillo's Progress, which was basically an hour-long advert for the Tory party.
It was?
It was fascinating. I'm disappointed you missed it, really, because this very, very smug guy came on the TV.
Oh, that'll be Michael Portillo then, I guess.
Couldn't be anybody else. Well, anybody in the Tory party, probably. But the guy came on and for about the first 20 minutes explained to us how basically he knew he had been partly responsible for dragging this country into the sort of mire that they left it in. And then spent the next hour of Channel 4's airtime explaining through interviews with William Hague and with Norman Tebbit how the Tory party would reinvent itself, and how the majority of this country were really Tories anyway, and just were stupid enough that they actually were fooled by the Labour Party into thinking that they should probably just do something for change. And
is that what that programme was about? Surely not.
It was unadulterated advertising. The guy had nobody to stand up and say to him, here's another viewpoint. Here's another argument why maybe what Michael Portillo's saying is not right. And it was outrageous.
Well, hasn't he? Didn't he see the light after that? By the way, that was one of the greatest televisual moments of all time. That, in the last election, when he got beat by what's his name? I mean, weren't you really rooting for that to happen?
There were fireworks going off all over London.
And hello, it did. I mean, talk about the cherry on top of the cake. Not to be a partisan or in any way. It's just
that famous Fulham supporter. Chelsea.
I thought it was a wonderful television moment. What are you looking at me like that for, Kev?
There was an election?
He actually said on the night that on this programme, he said it was a night of terrible disasters for the Tory party, and obviously I was one of the stars of this disaster. And to see this guy try and reinvent himself.
But he's done just that, hasn't he? Hasn't he now become a friend of women in sensible shoes?
A what, Ben?
I think he probably has, simply because he knows that if you're going to appeal to try and get back into power, you've got to appeal to as many minorities as you can. And the guy's just going around every single minority in the country and saying, I'm your friend. And he's not. The man's a very, very dangerous, obviously not that intelligent, because he would have kept his job, man.
Well, I don't think I don't think intelligence makes the slightest bit of difference either way when you're in your career in politics.
I think that's got to be true.
It's just whether you happen to look good on TV, apart from, is mostly it.
Absolutely. I think what's more worrying, though, is the fact that this guy has been able to, obviously maybe the Tory party were the people who actually paid for the production of this programme, but this guy's been given an hour of that last Sunday. He's got, I think, another two hour-long shows coming up. And as far as I was aware, there were some sort of guidelines and rules in this country about how much airtime political parties are allowed to have.
Well, I didn't see the programme, so I can't comment about its actual content, but I'm guessing that there will be other programmes that put another point of view. I think that there has to be an equal amount of time allotted to each party, but you don't, within every programme, have to put every viewpoint, because that would that would just be daft.
But then what if you dress the programme up as something different, like they appeared to here? If it was dressed up as a sort of documentary about how the Tory party lost the election, it wasn't dressed up as a political party broadcast. It appeared to a casual viewer as if it was an interesting hour-long look at behind what Michael Portillo's done since he lost power, and it blatantly wasn't.
Well, please don't dress casually when you're watching documentaries on Channel 4, Tom.
I'll bear that in mind.
It's a tie at all times. Thanks very much. 0500 1053 89. This is Talk Radio. It's a free call.
Talk Radio is your station for nationwide football. In association with Nationwide Building Society, official sponsor of the Nationwide Football League. Every Saturday, join Moz D and his top team of commentators and experts for coverage of the Nationwide Football League, only on Talk Radio. We're at the matches that matter, from kick-off to final whistle, and with the best analysis and your calls, what better way could there be to spend a Saturday afternoon than with Talk Radio? Saturday, 3 p.m., 10:53 and 10:89 a.m. Talk Radio and Nationwide Building Society, the world's #1 building society, supporting the nation's favorite game.
The callers you're about to hear are actors. The people answering the calls, however, are authentic and didn't realise at the time that the calls were being recorded.
Hello, this is First Direct. How can I help?
Yeah, I found out from my bank that I'm actually being charged a fee for having an overdraft facility.
Well, we actually offer to all customers an automatic overdraft of £250. So there will be no annual or monthly charges.
We give you a check guarantee card, which also has a switch facility on it.
To get your money out, we have one of the largest network of cash machines to use free of charge.
24 hours a day, 365 days a year, anytime. You can ring us at 4 o'clock in the morning and pay all your bills if you want.
We don't have any branches, so we haven't got any overheads.
You do all the same things that banks do you? Like loans?
Yeah, we do everything, if not more, really.
So basically, I can call up First Direct and they can run my whole life for me?
More or less, yeah. What about your love life?
Is it any wonder that nearly all of our customers have recommended us in the last 12 months? For more information about First Direct, call free on 0800 24 24 24, any time, day or night. First Direct is a division of Midland Bank, a member of the HSBC Group. Account opening and credit subject to status. To maintain a quality service, calls may be monitored and or recorded, it says here.
In 1998, a crack group of school leavers were released into the business community looking for work-based training. Handpicked and trained by you, and with backup support from your local tech, they'll blast your business into the next millennium. Armed with dedication, serious attitude, and an oxyacetylene torch, they'll blow the opposition away. If your company needs young blood, if nothing else will do, and if you can train them, maybe you should hire a national trainee. For more information on national traineeships, call 0345 665588.
This is Talk Radio, broadcasting to our largest audience ever, 2.8 million people. There's a good argument for listening.
Anorax, email Nick now.
Abbot at talk-radio.co.uk.
Okay, I've been told to read a traffic update. It's on the M6 northbound, junction 9, all 3 lanes closed.
That's f***ing typical.
So there it is, M6 northbound, junction 9, all 3 lanes closed, which is, that would be bad, wouldn't it? I guess.
It's not good.
No, 0500 1053 89. It is a freak all. Here is a call. Oh, it's a mobile. Let's take him straight away. He's on the M5. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Nick.
Good job you're not on the M6, mate.
No, mate, no, I'm going to come off at the Mickey 42 split, mate, for where I'm going. I was listening to the news last night, Nick, and they said on your late news that Elton John was writing a song for South Park and that he'd been asked to rewrite the words because it was too rude. And I thought, well, you know all about this South Park. How rude can it be? And is it any worse than that Kyle's Mum's song?
Don't make me play that Kyle's Mum song.
Yeah, give it a blast.
No.
How'd you know? Because you told me a couple of weeks ago that being in show business, they send you preview tapes, and I wonder if you'd seen the episode with this song in it.
I'm not sure.
I don't think it's been made yet.
Perhaps not, no.
I heard the news as well, Chris, yeah, and apparently they've said that it's a bit too saucy even for them.
Really?
So I can't imagine
No, I can't either. Now I want to really hear it.
I couldn't believe how, you know, so I thought if he's got to rewrite, and I was going to ask you, how long, you know, when they make these programs, how long is it before we get them? I mean, if it's a cartoon and that, and the style of that cartoon, it's not great animation, it can't take that long to make. If he, say, for instance, wrote that song yesterday, how long is it before do you think we'll see it on television?
Probably a year or more. I think they'll show it in America, then they'll sell it to Sky, or who's showing it? Is it Sky? Sky, yeah. And then once Sky's shown it, then we'll get it sort of 6 months later. So don't hold your breath, Chris.
All right, and Nick, thanks very much, mate.
Cheers.
Then. Bye.
0500 1053 89. Yeah, Elton John, he probably recorded the song, sent it to them, and he called them up a day later, and he said, well, what do you think? And they said,
just a second, fat ass.
We haven't heard it yet. Long way around to a really weak joke. Everybody loves Elton. Of course.
That's right.
That is right. Here's one in Oxford. Hello, Ian. Ian.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Nick. You see Vanessa in the morning. She's been replaced by Fiona.
Who?
Fiona.
Fiona?
Yeah, Fiona's taken over from Vanessa on ITV. On the,
Fiona who?
I don't know her second name. She's just called Fiona.
She is?
Yeah.
Fiona. Not even Fiona, it's Viona.
I don't think that's right. I think it's something else, isn't it? It's... I remember what her name... I don't remember it, but I'll know it if you say it, but that ain't it. But anyway, go on.
Well, she had two models on there who were talking about boobs, who had the biggest boobs. I mean, it just looked to me like a setup to start off with.
Yeah, well, the BBC's got the biggest boobs, because first of all, they've got Kilroy, and then they got Ainsley, and, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So there's that answer in a nutshell. Thanks a lot, Ian. 0500 1053 89. It's a free call. Anybody else in show business I can make an enemy out of?
No, I think you've pretty much gone through them all.
I think me and A.A. Gill are probably going to have to get together to form, and we'll have to walk everywhere back to back, so that no one can come up on our blind side. That's what people who criticise do for a living. I mean, A.A. Gill and Victor Lewis Smith, who is only seen by people in London. He writes for the Evening Standard. Hilarious. And he just the man likes virtually nothing on television. And he writes a column. He seems to be on holiday at the moment, but he writes a column every day, just ripping apart TV programmes, as does A.A. Gill in the Sunday Times. And just absolutely hilarious. But he must make enemies everywhere they go. Like every week, they write their stuff, and because they not only annoy the presenters, it's the writers and the directors and the researchers, and unlike radio where it's just me and Kev and Andy and Russ, on television there's 100 people behind. So we are going to have to form this little protection clique, and we'll go and live in a fort somewhere.
I'll get on it.
Will you do that for me?
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks so much. So it's